So, good morning, everybody. And also thank you from my side to the organizers and to the keynote speaker to inviting me to present you today the talk. So my topic is Beaker, Ware, Schönfeld, material links and the reflux theory, a reconsideration. I want to start here with a map. And we see here all the big phenomena, Beakers, Ware, and Yamnaya. And what I also want to refer today is the small group of the so-called Schönfeld culture in central Germany. That is also a picture we know. We have this Ware rules of burials, the Beaker burial rules for central Germany and central Europe, and you have also a kind of a strict Schönfeld burial rule with this cremation. But this picture, I think, leads us to a kind of a risk of a monothetic classification of archaeological units, which creates an impression of internal homogeneity and external boundness of the material culture, as Martin Fuhrholt says. So in my opinion, we should also look more to some acculturation processes. So, but what does it mean? As Barrier et al. Says, there are 4 essential paradigm forms of acculturation. First of all, the segregation. That means individuals react the dominant or host culture in favor of preserving their culture of origin. Second, the integration. That means that individuals can adopt the cultural norms of the dominant or host culture while also maintaining their culture of origin. And there's the assimilation. That means that individuals adopt the cultural norms of a dominant or host culture, and there's the marginalization. That means that individuals react both their culture of origin and the dominant host culture. So in my talk, mostly I will focus on integration. Here are some questions for this talk. How did Ware, Beaker, Schönfeld temporal and spatial overlap, especially in the central Germany region? Are there references in material culture? How can these references be interpreted? Are there super-regional interrelations? And is it worth to reconcile the reflux theory of Edward Sangmeister? But first of all, I will bring you to an excursus to the Psychomarch region. I will present also, like Mark did, network analysis of Beaker, and I'm focused here only of the ornament and the motifs of the beakers, not on the technique, only on the motifs. And the idea behind is the more motive or different motifs is on a beaker, maybe the higher the prestige or status is of the person. So this ongoing work, and here we see this network analysis. We see all these nodes. We see groupings in different colors which belong to different kind of beaker styles, which are sometimes also temporal different. We see the Bohemian or East Group style with this more blue or dark blue dots. And we see a big group of this typical metal beakers from central Germany. But we also see a small group, it's a little bit left, with this all over ornamented beakers. And what you also see here on this picture are different sizes of the nodes. So here I measured the betweenness, which detect the strategic positions that are important for transmitting information. So the betweenness link different groups. You can see here one example. So this is a large betweenness, and which lie between different network groups. And I transferred this picture to a map to the Sycamores region. You see also here the loess areas. And what you see here is that these different groupings by this network analysis are also partly clustered. So the blue ones are more on the southeast, who are looking more to the Bohemian region, but the white ones are spread so everywhere. But what we also see on this picture is the big nodes with this red frame. And the interesting point is that they are really more or less in the same region, more eastern and more close to the River Saale. So these nodes with the largest centrally measures seems to be located near the River Saale. So this kind of network analysis, I think, brings us really to good results in this case. So I want to present you a second excursus, which is based on demographic analysis on SPD curves based on C14 data. And this project, Social Environmental Dynamics between 2550 and 2150 BCE, was made for the Sycamores region, for the Northern Alpenvorland, and also for the Czech Republic, Lower Austria. And here you see the map with the data, with the white dots, all the C14 data from the regions. As red dots, you see the speleothems data, the climate data, which are used to correlate the demographic curve with the climate curve. And you here see the results, or just some results of this article. You see here on top the climate curve from the Blesbeck cave in central Germany. You also see here the demographic curves from the Sycamores region, from the Czech Republic, and from the North Alpenvorland region. You also see some cultures I put into the curves, the starting points, for instance. But here for this talk here is interesting. So the phase around 2600 to 2300 BCE, where we have really a warm and wet climate, and there's a strong correlation to a demographic boom, especially in the Sycamores region. And these results are published yesterday. Going back a little bit here to more demographic-based on C14 data curves, you see here a thread, the Beaker demographic curve, SPD curve, and the blue the corded Ware SPD curve for the Sycamores region. And what you can see is that the corded Ware starts earlier, of course, and the Beaker later on. And the corded Ware is more with a smooth increase, but interestingly, the Beaker more with a strong increase around 2500. And for me, interesting, especially the phase where we have around 2450 to 2300, where we have both a strong corded Ware and a strong Beaker. And in this phase, we have this complex ornamented corded Ware beakers, so which may be resulted by a big impact of the Beaker or by the decoration of the Beaker. And it's also a phase with the biggest interrelation between Beaker, corded Ware, and Schönfeld. Here's one result, one example dated 2450 to 2300 BCE, so really in this time phase. We have here a barrel of corded Ware individuals, and one individual is also belonging maybe to the Beaker phenomena. And the corded Ware vessels or beakers are also ornament with more complex style. What I did for my PhD thesis is also to figure out the similarities between corded ware and bell beaker, and for that I did, for instance, correspondence analysis, and we see here really on one pole the bell beaker, on another pole more the corded ware, but in the middle we have also some decoration forms which we know from both phenomena. For instance, some angle band motifs or zigzag lines, or some more line bundle and cross motifs and so on. And here we can see in the next slides some, and these examples where we find in both phenomena, this is more this integration part, and the poles are this segregation if you go back to the acculturation term. So here some examples. You see here with this red frame, the bell beaker, and with this blue frame, the corded ware vessels. And we see here really close to each other, time and temporal and spatial reference. We see here really a kind of interrelation. So we have the same motifs both in the corded ware and in the bell beaker context for the psychomods region. Some more examples, again, the same region, central Germany, here as blue, a beaker which belonged probably to the corded ware or is connected to the corded ware, and red again, a beaker belonging to the bell beaker, and share the same form, vessel form, and the same motif, this zigzag band. One more example, here also a beaker belonging to the bell beaker and one to the corded ware. They are quite similar, so there must be a kind of interrelation, some kind of communication in this area between this phenomena. I want to include also the so-called Schönfeld culture. Here's one famous board from Schönbeck, and we see this kind of ornamentation, this fishbone or barbed wire ornamentation, both in bell beaker and corded ware in this Schönfeld context. Here and here, this kind of ornamentation, and also this zigzag line bundle here. And here again, we have probably a temporal and a spatial closeness, so there has to be a kind of communication, not only between Schönfeld and corded ware, but also between Schönfeld, bell beaker, and corded ware, so a kind of a triangle communication. If we go further, for instance, to the Rhineland, here are also more examples of beakers with sharing the same motifs, this angle band motif. Again, here more closer, two vessels with this angle band motif lying really close, and in my opinion also temporal really close to each other, and there must be a kind of communication. And the interesting point here, what you see, that the distribution of the bell beaker are more left to the Rhine, and corded ware, the Rhine is really a border here, corded ware more right side of the Rhine. But there are some more elements which sharing both the Schönfeld, the bell beaker, and the corded ware. Here the bone pendants, here a map from Jos Klein. So here examples in a bell beaker and a corded ware context. And the interesting point is here will again this spatial closeness and probably also this temporal closeness, and both pendants are linked to more rich equipped male graves. Now I want to go further to the Meseta region and want to look if we have here also this kind of references. And here I want also mention the reflux theory of Edward Sangmeister. The second one later in central German Beakers and Eastern group Beaker diffused to southern and southwestern Europe with other object types like footed balls, V-perforated buttons, or wrist guards. Here we see a map of Michael Bilger, and interesting here on this map is that we see here not only gray fields, we see here really the cluster of bell beaker vessels. This map is based on bell beaker, of the number of bell beaker vessels. So we here see really some central points or central regions of the bell beaker phenomena. So here is one vessel with this angle band motif and a letter band motif, now from central Germany. This kind of vessel we also know from the Rhineland. And interestingly, we have also this beaker, also from the Meseta region, which also has the same kind of ornamentation with this angle band. One more example. Here we have a beaker from central Germany with this horizontal zigzag motif and this letter band motif. We have also this beaker, kind of beaker from the Rhine region, and again, a same motif combination in the Meseta region. So in my opinion, there must be a network and maybe a shift, also a kind of reflux from the east to the west. But we see also some other forms here, the colored bones, you know, from the Schönfeld culture. And this kind of vessel or bowls we also know from the bell beaker here, also from southern France and also from the Meseta region, just some examples. Or the carinated bowls, we have also already seen this from Ströbeck, and there's some more from Grillo, and we know it also from the bell beaker context from Feutstedt. But we have also this kind of vessel form from southern France and also from the Iberian Peninsula. So also in this context, I think there could be a kind of connection. But we know this kind of east-west shift or direction already from the tripod boards, you know, this map from Piquet and Bess from 2009. So the movement or the spread of this tripod boards from the east to the west. And this kind of vessel is also in the corded ware, in the bell beaker, and also in the Schönfelder culture. So, if I want to summarize here to this point, we have this package in central Germany with different kind of vessel forms and motifs within the Schönfeld and the bell beaker context. We find it again, for instance, in the Meseta region, all this kind of star ornamentation. So there must be a kind of communication, of network, and in my opinion, there is a kind of reflux of this vessel forms from central Germany to the Meseta region. In some cases, for instance, in the beaker ornamentation I showed you. Now, as further pointless, what I did is I was interested into the haplogroups of the bell beakers. So what I did, I used the supplements. First of all, you see this from Pabak et al., this graph, and in my talk I will focus on the haplogroups L151 and P312, which we know from the bell beaker context. And I was just collecting the data from the supplements, and here we see all the individuals with L151, which has also C14 data. And what you see here is the the median of the C14 data, and I put them to the map in this case. And the interesting point is that we have here, these are here more, the oldest one are in a corded Ware context, and they are older than 2200 BCE. So from 2450 also they are in Beaker context, but the oldest one in corded context, and then this haplogroup occur also in the Beaker context. And here in the Iberian Peninsula, it occurs just after 1800 BCE. Here's one example. The Amesbury Archer has this haplogroup, and interestingly, this burial has also this cord ornamentation. And if you remember, first of all, this haplogroup occurs in the corded Ware context, so interesting connection. So I think it is worth to look to the supplements and really look also to the ecological material, to the books, and how can there be interesting correlations or not. So if we look to the other haplogroup P312, yes, also interestingly, the oldest one are also here in Central Europe, older than, and just after 2200 with one, that's one, but after 2200, most of them occur also in Western Europe, but not before. So here are some examples. We have this haplogroup, this burial from France, which has this, interestingly, this Eastern group style. Another example, we know, for instance, it's here from Spain, who also has this haplogroup. So here again, I think it's worth to look also to the literature. What grave has this haplogroup? What are the characteristics I'm interested in this kind of connection? So, but I think we will also hear about this haplogroup stuff. So the beginning of the Bronze Age in Iberia marks the omnipresence of steppe-related industry in all individuals directly post-dating 2200 BCE, and there's a shift of the Y chromosome haplogroups in males, which are almost exclusively of the P312 type that was completely absent in Iberia before 2400 BC. So this, in my opinion, this haplogroup data confirm, if we are taking for granted that the Beaker starts at the Iberian Peninsula, so this reflux, this DNA results, I think, help us to confirm the reflux theory of Sangmeister. So I come to my conclusion. In Central Europe, acculturation processes are documented. Ornamentation symbols and object types were integrated in both directions, corded Ware and Beaker, and also in Beaker phenomena and the Schönfeld culture. So people integrate cultural norms of the dominant or host culture while also maintaining the culture of origin. The integration coincides with the spatial and temporal overlapping and closeness, especially between 2450 and 2300 BCE. And there's a two-way communication between Western and Central Europe, but I think there's especially this reflux from the east to the west, and that reflux theory of Sangmeister seems to be confirmed by archaeological evidences such as Beaker decorations, migrated or diffused from the east to the west, and certain vessel forms, and DNA evidences. And the mutual integration of cultural elements is, for me, an indication of a network of exchange which could have been realized in the form of this exchange, and maybe also exogamy rules. So thank you for your attention.